Good morning, students. Today we are going to learn about real numbers. Before going to this, we will just recall that what we have learned already in the ninth class. In the ninth class, we studied about the rational numbers and irrational numbers. So, what are rational numbers? Just recall that. What are the rational numbers? So, rational numbers we mainly we know that which we can write in the form of p by q. Can write in the form of p by q, where p comma q are integers. P comma q are integers and q is not equal to the 0. Rational numbers which is in the form of p by q, where p comma q are integers and q is not equal to 0. And what are other type of numbers? Irrational numbers. Irrational numbers. Rational numbers. What are irrational numbers? Irrational numbers which we can't write in the form of p by q. Can't write in the form of p by q. Such numbers are known as irrational numbers. If we discuss some more properties about rational and irrational, let us see that some more property of rational numbers. Rational numbers, if you expand into decimal form, so what do you notice that rational numbers, if you expand into decimal form, they are mainly two types. One is terminating decimals, other one is non-terminating recurring decimals. For example, 2 by 5, 1 by 2, 3 by 20. These numbers mainly terminating decimals. For example, that is if you see that 0.5, this is if we convert, means how can we convert 2 by 5? We can take into 2 by 2, that is 4 by 10, that is 0.4. That is 3 by 20, how can we convert into decimal form? If you into 5 by 5 means, we can say that 15 by 100, that is 0.15. So rational numbers are terminating decimals, one type, non-terminating decimal, one more type. So a denominator having the factors 2 and 5 are terminating decimals. And some more numbers are there. Non-terminating decimals. Non-terminating and recurring decimals. Otherwise repeating. For example, if you see that 1 by 3 equal to how much? 0.33 and so on. So it is non-terminating because its value is the quotient, we know the answer is not ending, so 0.33 and so on we getting. Like 1 by 7, 11 by 4. See that these are some examples are there. So what kind of numbers are non-terminating and recurring numbers? For example, 1 by 3, 2 by 5, 2 by 7, 15 by 11, so etc. How can you say these numbers are non-terminating and recurring decimals? Since see that the denominator, if you see the denominator as factors as 3, 7 and 11, these numbers should not in the form of 2 power n into 5 power n. If you see that in denominators, it is not in the form of 2 power n into 5 power n, where m, n are non-negative integers. Only that numbers in the form of 2 power n into 5 power n in denominator as factors, we can say such fractions only can terminating decimals. Here remaining all non-terminating decimal, non-terminating and recurring decimals remaining all. These are the main properties of the rational numbers. Rational numbers, we understand that mainly there are two types. One is terminating decimals, other one is non-terminating and repeating decimals. Rational numbers terminates means we can see the denominators in factorization as 2 power n into 5 power n. 2 power n into 5 power n. Non-terminating and repeating decimals, which we see the denominator not having the factors as 2 power n into 5 power n. Such numbers are known as non-terminating and repeating, or non-terminating recurring decimals. Now, what about irrational numbers? Irrational numbers, if you expand into decimal form, so what kind of numbers, what kind of form you will get? See that rational numbers either terminates, otherwise non-terminating repeating. Non-terminating repeating. Either terminates Otherwise, non-terminating repeating. Here, it should not follow the first one and second one. How it follows then? It follows as that if you see that in decimal form, you can see that it is non-terminating as well as non-repeating also. So, for example, if we know the root 2 value, how much? Root 2 value, we know that root 2 value is 1.414, but it is approximate value. What is the original value? Original value is not up to 414. So it has some endless value. So it is no particular order of numbers is repeating. No particular order of numbers are repeating. So that here repeats digits in the decimal form not repeating, and it is also not terminating, like root 2, root 3, root 7. These are the numbers which we can see in decimal form, which are non-terminating, non-recurring. So by definition of irrationals, we can say that in a decimal form, if you see that non-terminating, non-recurring, then they are irrational numbers. And if you see that any decimal form either terminates, otherwise non-recurring, such numbers only rational numbers. If you see combinedly, if you see the combinedly rational and irrational together, rational and irrational together we call it as a real numbers. Together we call it as a real numbers. Rational numbers, irrational number, together we call it as a real numbers. Now, before going to this, still in the 9th class we already know about the rational and irrational. In this chapter we are going to extend some part of the real numbers, and also we know about the main some properties of the real numbers. Suppose we are going to learn about the an important property about the two integers. What is that important property? Let us see that. What is that important property? We will learn it here. See here. Now see that. For example, see here that I am taking two numbers. What are the two numbers are? Suppose 5, 12. Two numbers. Here 12 is greater than 5. 12 is greater than 5. Now if I divide first number with bigger number with smaller number, what happens? 12 divided by 5. 5 2s are 10, remainder 2. Then I can say that 12 is equal to 5 into 2 plus 2. Otherwise I can take 20, 4. Then what happens? 20 divided with 4. 4 5s are 20, remainder 0. Then I can express 20 as 4 into 5. 4 into 5 plus 0. Now we can take some more examples. For example, 17 and 6. Then what happens? 17 is bigger number, I divide with smaller number. 6 2s are 12, remainder is 5. Then I can express 17 as 6 into 2 plus 5. See that these are the some examples for division of two integers. So for division I am taking the two pair of positive integers. 12 and 5, 20 and 4, 17 and 6. So here discussing about the division of two positive integers and what property we have understood from this. From this, see that for every pair of two integers, if I take 12, if I divide 12 with 5, then I got other pair of two integers. Actually in the division we know that this is the dividend, this is the divisor, this is the quotient and remainder. So we know that dividend equal to divisor into quotient plus remainder. Using that property I expanded. It is also dividend. This is a dividend. Dividend equal to divisor into quotient plus remainder. Here also 17. Dividend equal to divisor into quotient plus remainder. So I can write dividend equal to divisor into quotient plus remainder. That already this property we know already. So finally we understood that for every two pair of positive integers we are getting the other pair of integers. So here 5 and 0 are other pair of integers. Here 2 and 5 are the other pair of. Here 2 and 5 also other pair of integers. Here 2 is 2 also other pair of integers. But actually here both are same. But in division we will get other pair of integers. So how these other pair of integers occurring? Because of this, these are the satisfying this condition. These other pair of integers satisfying the given condition. So these are the only integers which satisfy this condition. Where 2 and 5 only can satisfy this condition. 2 comma 2 only can satisfy this condition. 5 comma 0 only can satisfy the condition. So what do you understand? So that these only numbers are satisfying this condition, so that these pair of integers are unique. Unique pair of integers. Unique pair of integers. That means for every pair of two positive integers, if we take division, then we will get the another pair of two integers which is satisfying the given relation. That relation is nothing but dividend equal to divisor into quotient plus remainder. And these are unique for the every division. Okay. So this is a property we understood. If you simplify in the more manner, for example, if I have a number b, a comma b are two numbers, where a and b are, a is greater than b, a comma b belongs to whole numbers, no positive integers. So positive integers means I can take a natural numbers. A comma b are natural numbers, a and b are the two positive integers. That means natural number where a is greater than b. Then I apply this condition here. What I can write here? You can write a is divided by b, then I can get quotient as q, remainders are. Then I can get a is equal to bq plus r. This is nothing but dividend equal to divisor into quotient plus remainder. So we know the condition also, remainder is always less than the divisor. Remainder is always less than the divisor. So here what is our condition is 0 less than or less than b. So we know that the remainder is always less than the divisor also equal, and it is equal to 0 or more than 0. That is the condition. So we have understood that for every pair of two positive integers a and b, we are getting the other pair of integers q and r which is satisfying the given relation, so that these two are unique. So whatever the result we have understood, that whatever the result we have understood, that is simply known as Euclid's division algorithm. This theorem is simply called it as Euclid's division lemma. Euclid's division lemma. This is theorem 1.1. What is it telling? That given positive integers a and b, there exist unique integers q and r satisfying the a is equal to bq plus r, and where 0 less than or less than b. This is Euclid's division lemma statement. So actually, this whatever the statement dividend equal to divisor into quotient plus remainder, already we know that for a long time. Even though we know for a long time, actually this was first recorded in the book 7 of Euclid's Elements. Euclid wrote 13 books, that is 13 elements. In that 7th book, he already informed about this statement. Actually, this total division, Euclid's division lemma is based on the lemma. Actually, it is Euclid's algorithm. So here this is known as algorithm. The steps, whatever the following in the while finding the division, we have to follow some steps. That is nothing but algorithm. So this is based on the uh, algorithm. So what is algorithm? Algorithm is nothing but, see that. What is algorithm? I will show you here. See that a series of well-defined steps. Which is involved in solving a problem. For example, we are solving so many problems. While solving problems, we have to write some steps. We have to write when well-defined steps. That well-defined steps are nothing but algorithm. A series of well-defined steps. Now, actually, how the word algorithm comes from the word. The algorithm comes from the word from a Persian mathematician. His name is Al-Khwarizmi. His name is Khwarizmi is a Persian mathematician. So from his name, the word algorithm comes from. Actually, sometimes we see that we heard the word algebra. We know already about we have so many times we heard about the algebra. So how the algebra is derived? It is derived from a book written by this mathematician. So what is that book name? Is Isab al Jabal wal Mukabala. From this book, from the name of from this book, the algebra is derived. So which is the book is written by him. From that name, algebra is came. And also we have to discover about lemma. In the definition, we see that it is telling about Euclid's division lemma. In the what is lemma meaning? Lemma is a proven statement used for proving the another statement. Lemma is a proven statement used for proving the another statement. So finally, what is telling about the Euclid's division lemma? By learning the Euclid's division lemma, it is indirectly helps us to find the HCF of the two numbers. We will solve it using the Euclid's division lemma. We can find the HCF of two numbers.